I am going to give this one, what the hell is that? I'm going to give this one, welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano. I'm sticking with my Monday series exploring Japanese whiskey. And today, specifically, the Japanese whiskey we're looking at is Nikka Whiskey from the barrel. Let's go ahead and get this thing poured, nosed, tasted, and if you guys stick around until the end, I'll give it a score. Nikka Whiskey from the barrel. This is coming in at 51.4% ABV, and it's chill filtered, which I find to be very strange. Usually around 46% ABV is the cutoff point to where they don't chill filter any longer. For some reason, they decided to chill filter this. They've added color to this. It's a non-age statement blended Japanese whiskey. This is a 750 milliliter bottle, and in Phoenix, Arizona, this is coming in at $74.99 at the time that I purchased this. All right, let's get this on the nose and let you guys know what I think. Classic Japanese. This is coming across as sweet and crisp. It's jumping out of the glass because of the ABV. The first thing that I'm getting is vanilla and honey, so it's a vanilla honey sweetness. I pick up a little bit of apricot, so the fruit sweetness is also there, and a little bit of oak or barrel. And I'm getting that same acetone note that I did in the Nikka coffee grain. All right, let's get it on the palate and see what we got. All right, initially, that hits pretty hot. It's lighting my mouth up. Beyond that heat, I get the sweet notes of pear and apricot, peach, vanilla, and then a little bit of oak. My initial taste is sometimes skewed, so don't trust that first taste. Go in for that second and third. Yeah, there's that acetone note. Now that second nosing, there is a definite acetone to that. Let's get it on the palate for the second time. All right, that second time, I'm getting a little bit more of a barrel tan in there. That's good. This sticks around. It's a pretty long finish, a little bit bitter in the back, but I have that classic Japanese style palate. It's crisp, it's clean, it's vibrant. I believe so far this is the highest ABV of any of the Japanese whiskeys that I've done. And I actually like the ABV. Feels pretty nice. It's settling into the chest rather warm. All right, let's get that third sip down, add some water to it, and talk a little bit about Japanese whiskey. All right, a little bit more pepper, a little bit more spice on that third sip. Let's go ahead and add some water to this and start talking about it. Now that I'm breathing in, I start to get that acetone note as well. Pear, apricot, peach, definitely more spicy towards the back end. It's actually not bad. I'm liking this. So in my previous videos with Japanese whiskey, there is a regulation that has since been passed. Well, not since my last video, but there are regulations that were passed back in February of 2021 by some sort of trade commission that wanted to, I guess, narrow down and to regulate what they can call Japanese whiskey. I want to make sure that I'm getting this straight, so I'm going to take a look at my notes. This is very similar to American single malts and Scotch, so it looks like they just adopted this. In order for a Japanese whiskey to be termed Japanese whiskey, the raw ingredients, again, need to be limited to malted grain, other cereal grains, water extracted in Japan. Malted grains must always be used. The production method, it needs to be carried out all in Japan, in a distillery in Japan. The aging needs to be at least 3 years. Bottling must take place in Japan with alcoholic strength of at least 40%. And then they can also use plain color carameling. So taking a look at these regulations, it doesn't really necessarily seem, and I'll put it up here on the screen because there's a lot more to it than what I just said. But taking a look at the regulations, it seems that they're trying to follow the same regulations as Scotch, Ireland, and America. So nothing out of the ordinary. As far as whether these regulations are going to be upheld, I don't really necessarily know if there's anything official behind these regulations other than this trade commission, whoever they are, decided on these rules or these guidelines. I guess it's going to be up to the individual distilleries to take part or not. And as far as Nikka Whiskey from the barrel goes, I think this might be coming out of either the Yoichi distillery or the Miyagikyo distillery. I'm not exactly sure. If you guys know where this is actually produced and bottled, let me know in the comments down below. There's a couple of things on this that are a little bit iffy. First of all, since this is a Japanese whiskey, they're saying, and the information's spotty, they're saying that there's over 100 different components that make this up. Around 65% of it is coming from the Nikka coffee grain whiskey that they make. There's also some scotch in here from the Ben Nevis distillery. They have, I think they either own it or they're affiliated with it in some way. So all of these different components are making up this Japanese blended whiskey. So it's not all coming from Japan. And like I had mentioned before, February of 2021, these regulations were passed, and they gave all of the Japanese distilleries, I guess, 3 years to comply. Are they going to comply? I have no idea. And the last bit of information, this is said to be an average age of 10 years. And correction, 60% is rumored is coming from the coffee grain. 40% is other malt whiskeys from Yoichi Miyagikyo and the Ben Nevis distillery. All right, let's go ahead and get this on the palate with the water, and then I'll give it a score. Immediately, I'm getting more pepper, more spice. So the water is definitely separating the sweetness and the spice. Let's get it on the palate. The sweetness is now taking a back seat to the spiciness. I get the pepper, I get a little bit of a bitter note. It's not as vibrant on the palate. A little bit more of the tannin, and then way back behind everything else, the vanilla, the apricot, the pear, maybe a little bit of a grapey note comes in. All right, last sip, and then we'll give it a score. Acetone, pepper, bitter in the back, fruity on the back end, more spice than fruit, more spice than sweet. Overall, not bad, but not the best. So my rating system is out of 5 stars. And as far as the Japanese whiskeys that I've tasted to this point, I do like the level of ABV that's in here. I'm not so keen on the bitterness and how spicy it is. The finish is rather long, and for the price, $74, I think that's decent. A little bit too, I think it's a little high, but for a Japanese whiskey, I think the prices for Japanese whiskeys are high in general across the board. I am going to give this one, what the hell is that? I'm going to give this one 3.75. No, I'm going to give this one 3.5. 3.5. It is decent. It's something that you're going to be able to share with people to give them an example of a different Japanese profile. And because of that and the price, 3.5. I'm going to settle in at 3.5. So with all that being said, I believe I have 3 more Japanese whiskeys to go before I move on to my rye series. If you guys are not subscribed to this channel and you're liking this information, subscribe to the channel. Share this with somebody in the whiskey world that might get enjoyment out of it. Give me a like if you are enjoying this type of content. Turn on that bell notification because I'm going live with videos Monday, Wednesday, and the first Friday of every month. Now that I'm all recovered from the sickness, I'm going to start ramping up my production, and I think I might be doing 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if that interests you, turn on the bell notification so when I do go live with the video, you'll be notified. And with all that being said, enjoy your journey, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.